Hey, so for the next couple days, I'm going to be sharing each day with you one of the pre-order bonuses that you can get if you order Rage Against the Minivan ahead of its launch date. The launch date is June 9th, but we've put together some things that we think you might enjoy if you order it early. So the first of those things is a signed book plate. What is a book plate, you may be asking? I will explain it to you. So typically, if you release a book when it's not during a global pandemic, an author could go to a local bookstore or a local production house, sign a number of books, and those books could then be sent out signed. We cannot do that right now. But what I can do is when you get your book, this is what it looks like. I can sign a book plate and send it to you. A book plate looks like this. I sign in this area right here, and then you can take it and stick it right in the front of your book. So there you've got a nice signed affixed book plate. But here's the fun part. If you order now, I will sign it not just with my signature, I will sign it to you. Or I will sign it to your mom or to your friend, and I will write whatever message you ask me to write. You can write something inappropriate. You can write it as me to you. I'll write that we're best friends. I may regret this, but I will write whatever you want me to write. So that is the first of 3 fun pre-order bonuses if you order Rage Against the Minivan before launch date, June 9th. So order before then. You can go to the link that I am sharing, and that will show you where you can order it and where you can redeem your pre-order bonuses. Okay, today is day 2 of me announcing the pre-order bonuses for my book, Rage Against the Minivan. If you're interested in buying the book at all, I highly recommend you pre-order it because you're getting some fun extra things. I announced yesterday that you would get a signed book plate that I will dedicate to you or anyone you know with anything you want me to say. This will not be available after June 9th. The other thing, and I think this is actually the most exciting, is that my book was a book to help parents. My book was a book about parenting, and little did we know that we would be living in the midst of a global pandemic, and that would really change parenting for a lot of us. And so, as this happened, my team and I decided that I needed an extra chapter, and I needed a chapter about parenting in a pandemic because there are so many things. And there are things that are annoying, and there are things that are funny, and there are things that are really difficult about parenting in a pandemic. So I wrote a chapter. It is a long chapter, but it is a needed chapter about parenting in a pandemic. Not that I have it all figured out, I really don't, but I think it is relatable, and I wanted to share just a little of that chapter with you. So again, this chapter is only available if you pre-order, and if you pre-order the book, you will get it right away. In fact, you can literally pre-order it right now, and it will be in your inbox by tomorrow. So this is a section from that Parenting in a Pandemic guide called Opting In and Opting Out. One of the themes of Rage Against the Minivan was learning how to opt out of the measures of good mothering that didn't work for us and learning where I needed to opt in. For me, parenting during the pandemic is still about adjusting my paradigm for how we live. That doesn't mean a complicated spreadsheet, and it doesn't mean a list of self-improvement goals. It means opting into those things that work for us now and opting out of those things that don't. We can do hard things, but right now we are choosing not to when they are optional. We get to lower our expectations for ourselves, for our kids, for our job, for the cleanliness of our home, for the productivity of our days. We get to opt out of rigid expectations for grades. We get to opt into discovering our children's own learning styles. We get to opt out of our pre-pandemic goals and opt into new ones that better match our resources and the world that we find ourselves in. We get to opt out of the expectations for the perfect meal, the perfect weekend, the perfect photo of perfectly coiffed children. The closing of every barbershop and hair salon has helped with this one. We get to opt out of the shame over being scared during this time. We get to opt into the right to be afraid and uncertain. You might choose to opt out and then back into certain things. I'm not advising you to write a manifesto about how you and your family should live until the pandemic has passed. This is about flexibility with each other and with ourselves. As you read this, you probably already know more about this pandemic is unfolding, as I did when I wrote these words. Chances are, though, as you read this, we'll still be dealing with a dramatically changed world for ourselves and for our families. There will be plenty of time to draw lessons about coronavirus pandemic when we're all on the other side of it. For now, in this crazy uncertainty, let's opt in to being as gentle as we can with ourselves and those we love. So if you are interested in getting this entire chapter, again, only available if you buy the book before June 9th, and it will be sent to you right away. So I'm popping some links up where you can follow through and order the book to get that. Okay, it is day 3 of me announcing the 3 pre-order bonuses if you are interested in buying my book, Raging Against the Minivan, which is a humor memoir about parenting. The first bonus is that you will get a signed book plate that you can affix to your book. I will dedicate it to you or anyone you want me to. I will fill it out with whatever dedication you want me to, but that's just available till June 9th. The second bonus is that you get a chapter that I wrote specific to parenting in a pandemic, and you will get that right away. The third is that we are giving you 3 early chapters. So, you know, when the pandemic happened, I really felt like there are a lot of aspects of my book that I think would be helpful for people who are parenting in this really crazy time. And so what we have done is we are offering 3 chapters that you get right away. So if you click on the link, buy the book right now, you will get emailed to you 3 early chapters. And let me explain the 3 chapters that you will get early, in addition to getting the rest of the book on June 9th. So depending on how fast of a reader you are. Oh, and here's what that little book plate looks like. Here are the 3 chapters that you will get early. You will get a chapter called The Internet is Full of Shit and So Am I. And this is a chapter that talks about how much of what we see online is really the highlight reel, and how even I, as a content creator, a blogger, someone who, you know, maybe people have looked at my life and thought, oh, that looks shiny and lovely. How often what is real and behind the scenes is not what we see online, and the importance of just not comparing ourselves to the highlight reel of others. In that chapter, I talk about a story where I was doing a interview with NPR about staying sane during the holidays and being a complete hypocrite. So you can read that chapter for that story. The other chapters that you will get, there is one called Opting Out, and that is really about how I learned how to opt out of the kind of expectations of motherhood that really made me feel stressed, made me not be a better mom, and how that's really unique to every mom. And then the other chapter that you will get is Checking Email is the New Churning Butter. And that chapter is really about how in modern motherhood, we have this sort of expectation that we are here to really be like observers of our children 24/7, and we're given guilt if we're doing other tasks. And the fact that, you know, mothers since the dawn of time have been busy and they've had things to do, and that this is a new sort of privileged way of looking at motherhood, that we can't miss a cartwheel, or, you know, we've got to be constantly kind of standing in wait for our children, and how I think it actually benefits, of course, us as parents, but also our children, when we are not always just standing in wait for them, and when they realize that we are also our own unique people with our own needs. So I think all of those chapters will be helpful for people as we are, you know, in various stages of lockdown and still kind of dealing with the repercussions of the pandemic. So again, those 3 chapters are available right away if you order before June 9th. You just follow the links, and that will tell you where to buy and how to redeem your pre-order bonuses, of which there are 3.